moving down to my town. So many faces, different races and voices.
Welcome to the Author Alike Show, where we discuss Ugandan literature and how it is impacting the lives of people outside the classroom. Today I'm exceedingly excited to meet one of our guests, the best from Gulu University, Miss Talent from Gulu University, in a show that was organized by Ministry of Education, especially Department of Gender and Gulu University. Welcome, Jennifer.
Oh, I'm grateful to be part of this.
Thank you.
It's a great opportunity for me.
Thank you. Thank you. This is wonderful. Listening over, I have students from different secondary schools. I have students from Oche Champion College. I have from Sacred Heart. I have from Pope Paul II College. You know, I have students from Gulu High. I have students from Peche Senior Secondary School, and then Nile Progressive. Today in my show, listening to Miss Talent from Gulu University. So, tell us, I mean, our students are here. Tell us about this Miss Talent. What is it about Miss Talent so that my audience gets to know?
Well, my name is Miss Jennifer Hadong, the current serving Miss Talent Gulu University, 4th edition. I am so grateful to be with you here. Yeah, I am a second-year student pursuing bachelor degrees in laws at Gulu University. I'm grateful to meet you all. Away from that, I am also a social worker. I have an initiative called Inspire the Nation. I am an executive director of that initiative. Yeah, and we work with young people vigorously, helping them to realize their self-worth, helping to build their potentials, and a number of things we do with them. Yeah, about Miss Talent, wow, I would say this is 100% attributed to the art of reading or the art of literature. That is, you know, reading, and when you read, you go down and put whatever you've read. You know, after reading, you get the knowledge and you try to comprehend. Reading widens your ability to think. Personally, I want to share with you my experience in poetry. Yeah, I started poetry when I was in secondary, out of a very bitter experience that I had with my teacher in primary that kept on torturing me. And I felt like, but I couldn't share this with anyone, even my parents, I couldn't. So I got a piece of paper and I wrote down, I poured my heart and I cried. Then I am one person who is so passionate about young people. Coming to Gulu University, I saw a theme, keeping a girl child at school. I reflected back on my experience. Then I looked into my initiative, Inspire the Nation. Yeah, because Inspire the Nation started in 2020 during COVID lockdown, looking at how the young people were suffering in our community. By then I was in Kampala. I was like, but what best can I do for these people? You know, I would move around Nakawa and find children of 14, 15, 17 are practicing prostitution. I'm like, what is wrong? I need to dig down and find what is their problem. I talked to these children and I realized that, you know, most of them believe that their beauty is having nice hair, putting on their fingers, and that is all they know about beauty. They be like, we want to get some money, you know, so that we would make our hair. We are outdated, you know, we are no longer looking like the people of this generation. I'm like, oh, there is much that has to be done. I got a book again and wrote, why is this? After writing about those challenges, I'm like, but what could be the cause of this? I went back to them and dig down, got more. And I'm like, okay, now I need to provide a solution as a person. Because there is lockdown, we are not going to call anyone to come in. I'm like, let me be creative. Call these children together, put them in a group, started discipling them. I started teaching them about, you know, godly values. After we came, we started talking about social life. I'm like, okay, I need to make this a greater initiative. I keep on bringing more children, and before I knew it, I had 60 children. I would meet them in a group of 10, and that one inspired me to read them more and write more. When I see a child, for example, I had an encounter with a child of 12 years who was being sexually assaulted, by an uncle. This thing made me bitter. I got down and read. For me, my power is in writing. So when I heard about Miss University, I'm like, yes, this is a great opportunity that I would use to show the world whatever I have. And I can assure you I have achieved it. Because during my campaigns, all my social media platforms, I would write about, what I feel about my younger generation, what I want to do for them, what inspired me to come for Miss University exactly, and I made sure I never deviated from them. My target was one, to get a greater network connections, so that I would get people of values, so that I would get people of, who subscribe to the same school of thought with me, so that we would probably help to shift the paradigm of the younger generation to come to a true understanding and realization of what is called beauty.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, amazing. Amazing students you have had. She's a lawyer in the making. She's a beauty pageant. So modeling is not for the daft-headed slayers only, but for brains, beauty with brains. Is that what we talk about? And she's championing the cause for which we all stand very ideally for, the moral cause, that we have to be decent. And I really appreciate you so much for your initiative. In all these things that you do, how has literature helped you to do it?
Well, literature helps to widen your ability to think. When you sit down and you get an idea, you'll sit down and begin to think more about it. And trust me, the people who write think different from the people who sleep from morning to morning. Secondly, literature helps to avoid the tendency of being idle. Let me tell you people, up to now, I cannot sleep earlier than midnight, and I cannot wake up later than 5 a.m. Whether it was vacation, anytime, because I know I have seen something and I must have to put it in writing. And you are not going to write when you are not thinking. And when you write, you share your ideas with the people. Like personally, sharing my ideas that I've written with people helped me to get the people who subscribe to the same school of thought with me. I am so grateful to tell you that the CEO of Scholar Media Africa, Scholar Media Group, it is a newspaper company. Just after seeing whatever I write, he got interested. He says, we need to be posting you on our media platform every time. I shared with him about my initiative through writing, of course. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I am going to support you, and trust me, the first launch of my project, he is the one sponsoring fully. He came right from Kenya, took me to the VC of the university, which is very hard. It is not easy for you to meet the vice chancellor of the university. But I met the vice chancellor of the university in year 1. That is the greatest achievement. And all this was through writing. Through writing, you get people of values in your lives who impacts you positively. Let me tell you, in life we need people, but then we don't need everyone. You need people of values. And so for you to get people of values, you need to first show them whatever you have in you, such that they will get attracted in you because they feel there is some likelihood between them and you. The truth is, no one wants to sit in a stagnant place and they do not grow. Everyone is looking for a person who will help them move to the greater height or the greater level of glory in their lives.
Wonderful. What other benefits have you got from the use of literature outside the classroom? What other benefits have you got from your literature experience?
Well, there are very many benefits associated with it. One of them is here. Of all the students in Gulu University, I am the one seated here. Don't you think it is an achievement?
Oh, yeah.
Who of you doesn't want to be seen and watch over social media like this? Literature has set me apart that even in my class, people admire to be who I am. And this one pushes me to every time make sure I behave to the best of I work to the best of my behaviors, because I do not want to spoil my reputation. But at the same time, it helps me, to remain who I am. Like keep my integrity, because I know very many people are looking up to me.
Wonderful, wonderful. How did literature help you to become Miss Talent Gulu University?
Well, just as we say, beauty pageant is not about going to show you your figure, your face, your brownness or what, but they say beauty with a purpose. So, just as I told you, literature helps you to think in a different way. So, it sets me apart amongst my fellow contestants. We were 11 when we were contesting, but how did I become Miss Talent? Because I went extra mile, I dug deep into the world of literature, that my presentation is different from every other person, addressing the problems that I am seeing, the community challenge. You just heard my poem some minutes ago. Yeah, it set me apart from other people.
Yes, I listened to your poems. They're very emotional, very powerful, and I like their immediate mood swings. That was really powerful. So the students are listening to you. We want to listen to you as their leader, at the university, student of law. What message do you have for the students of Gulu City?
For the students, I would have many words, but let me summarize them. 1, you need to discover yourself. 2, take responsibility for your life. When you discover yourself, for example, you discover that you are a poet, then you will take that responsibility to research every now and then. You're not going to wait for someone to tell you, please write. You just see something, get touched, and then you begin to write. Thirdly, you need to have a positive mindset. Students, this has killed very many people. Sometimes we look at ourselves and we be like, no, but I cannot, and you sit there. That is why Africans are perishing. We just have negativity, but that we cannot. But I want to tell you, if you have a positive mindset, everything is going to work out for your good. And fourthly, you need to be committed. You don't just need to be interested. Yes, take the interest, but then take commitment. Because when you are only interested, you will only do it when you want. For example, when you're only interested in studies, when chemistry becomes very hard, you would probably run away from it. If you're only interested in studying law like me, you would reach in class and they would tell you the law of contract, which people believe is the hardest, and before you know it, you are out of the law school. You've run away from your dream. But when you are committed, whether comes sunshine or rainfall, whether by hook or by crook, you must have to make sure that your dream comes true.
Amazing. Well, amazing. Let's give it a round of applause, members. Okay, my last question before I can listen to 1 or 2 questions from the students. Just my last question. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years?
I see myself as being one of the greatest motivational speakers, not only in Uganda, but in Africa.
Amazing. Again, I like that so much. Motivational speaking, students are listening. If you're not going to do literature, if you're not going to use literature skills, you're not going to be Africa's greatest motivational speaker. Not so? Thank you so much. Now I want to give chance to 1 or 2 or 3 questions from students. Who has a question to ask?
During your contest, and actually when you're contesting for that post, which challenges did you face? Basically, financially, or critics from the society or the people, the students from Gulu University?
Well, you asked about the challenges I faced during the contest. One of the greatest challenges was the negativity towards this beauty pageant. Most people believe that beauty pageant is for slay queens, is for people without agenda. Yeah, but I made sure that I challenged them by bringing the real meaning of beauty. Secondly, you would not easily find people who believes in you. There are a lot of people, you tell them, I'm going for Miss University contest, and they say, you cannot. Even my very own friends tells me, you cannot go there and make it. But me personally, I believed in myself, and I'm always brave. And I am telling you today, never fail to try. Even if everyone does not believe in you, but you try it. Because through trial, you get to know your abilities, you get to discover yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. That's an amazing answer.
My name is Dawa Clara, and I'm so happy to see you here today. Regarding to all the journeys you have so far made, especially in poetry, how do you feel about it? like right now? How do you feel?
I feel good about myself, and when I see myself seated here, having time to talk to young people like you and very many other young people over there will watch at me, I feel like my dream to mentor and to motivate young people is coming true, and that is my joy.
Nice, nice, nice.
I'm by the name of Curly Joseph with the state name Lumpy Joseph. I want to ask you, Miss Talent. Uh, Me myself personally did not have the opportunity to study literature in O level and as I speak now, I'm almost done with my O level studies. How can I make it in A level? Is there any opportunity for me to make it like the way you're doing now or not?
Joseph, I like your question. Yeah, but one thing I want to encourage you is not about sitting in literature class. Personally, I've never been to a literature class. This might be very surprising to some of you. And the English I speak, I also don't know where I learned them from. But most probably because I love reading a lot. I will never spend a day without reading something new, like outside class. And the things that I do, I would engage in various areas of life. I do things of mentoring children under Inspire the Nation. I do things of environment under AgriCycle Uganda. I am there. I work with them as, their project manager, the program manager, meaning it calls for a lot of research, reading here and there. You can make it, brother. All is possible. It's not about sitting in literature class, but it's about having the interest and putting commitment.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I have three different questions, so I think you have to answer them according to how I'll put them. My first question is, what do you look forward for a teenager? Because as teenagers, we are going under a lot. Down in my village, down in our district, even at school here, many are paid by organizations, but the assaults, the insults that we get, they're above our ages. And how our friends appear and we don't appear, we always like to appear the same way. So what is your advice to a teenager, and what do you look forward to do for a teenager? The second question is, you being at Gulu University, what is your aspiration for Northern Uganda? What will you do for Northern Uganda? Has Okot Pabitek really made it to the world's history? What is your do you look for Northern Uganda, as it is the root, it is the source of your success today. That is why you are above with the tag. The third question, the last one. Me being in single-sex school, I love it and I have that heart that I will never be able to be in a mixed school, and that is what I have in me. How can I publish my poet work? Already I have a sample, but how can I make it in public? Since I don't have a smartphone, you've told me of people from Kenya. I cannot foot to Kenya. How can I make that to really make me someone like you tomorrow? Because I look forward to be like you. Thank you.
Thank you, beautiful girl, for such a wonderful question. I love them. Your question challenged me. I have seen that we have people with the brains in this building, in this house. I have learned a lot from you as well.
Yeah.
Learning is a continuous process. Yeah, you asked me about my plans for teenagers. Well, I have a great vision for the teenagers, especially the young people at school. I don't segregate whether boys or girls because I know all of them needs attention. Well, as young people, for you to address their problems, you need to first know what the problem is exactly. Most young people in schools and everywhere, they have low self-esteem. They do not believe in themselves. That's why they can't rise up even to speak for themselves. Even when a program comes like this, how many of you are in your various schools? But we see 2, 1 in every school. Why? Because they have very low self-esteem. So we have built a strategy under Inspire the Nation that we are going to begin running in many schools, helping young children to discover themselves. We offer mentorship programs like we mentor you in various aspects of life to first of all help you discover yourself. Because when you do not know who you are, then probably you don't know where you are going and you don't know what you want. And that is the greatest sickness that we have among us young people today. Yeah.
Great. And then, thank you so much. And then to answer you on publishing, that's exactly what we're doing. We're looking for student poets. I know with the working with your teacher, we'll keep on looking at those poems, reviewing it, and eventually getting them published. So keep writing in your books as much as you can. Keep writing, keep writing. Keep them in your books, keep writing. I want to tell you this, Author Like is here for students. His interest is exactly that, to make sure those poems get published. But first, the first poems must get published so that we know what to do with those ones. So keep writing those poems, keep them in your book. Working with your teachers will eventually come to them when we have accumulated more than 100 poems. Then we can go and publish, because we do not want to cheat those to whom we want to sell the books to. Once again, thank you so much. I just want to hear from you. What is your last message for Author Like group whose focus is on mentorship of students in schools?
Wow. Once again, I want to thank you very much, Author Michael Ike, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be here, but not forgetting my senior mentor, Destiny. Thank you for having, tried very hard to make sure you give me this great opportunity. I don't take it for granted. And also, Michael Ike, I would say I am much impressed by what you are doing, and I look forward to working together with you to seeing a better Northern Uganda and a greater Uganda as a whole.
Thank you so much on behalf of the Author Like team. We're exceedingly happy to work with you throughout your reign. For us, we are committed to anybody, any group that is working with students whose focus is on building them, making them better persons, making them find themselves. We are very committed to identify with them. I'm hoping that when you get done with school after your senior 4, after your senior 6s, that you come and join me among the Author Like Writers Guild. Yeah. Once again, thank you so much for joining us in the Author Like show. It is going to be running on and on and on, and we'll be looking forward to those star students so that we have an interview and we share your story to the world. Thank you so much.